So this girl right here, she watched The Kissing Booth too, and it was better. It was better than the first movie. Is that saying a lot? No, it's not. But that's a secret between you and me. And I have like a whole page of notes on my computer in front of me, and we are just going to dissect. That's why I got a coat on. We are going to dissect The Kissing Booth. So, spoilers, whatever, if you haven't seen it and want to watch it, or you just want to see someone take apart a popular Netflix movie, as many people do. I have parts to this. I have parts. Okay? Part 1, self-awareness. There's a lot more self-awareness in this movie, especially in comparison to the first one. In the first one, there's so many things that seem like they tried to be the new Mean Girls without being Mean Girls. They took elements from it, like the OMG girls. They were just trying way too hard to be iconic instead of just relying on good writing and good characters. No. This is Netflix. This is a Netflix original teen movie. We can't have that. We have to rely on old character types to have a successful film that resonates with teens. That's what has to happen. However, in the second one, there is a lot more self-awareness. What was really, really funny to me was the fact that Noah, he isn't in this movie as much. I feel like we get just as much screen time with Noah as we do with Marco. Unless we get more with Marco. No, we get about the same. And it's kind of funny because it feels to me like the director said, how can we have Noah in here with the least amount of screen time as possible? That's what I felt watching the movie. Did I mind? No, because Noah's a Chad and I want him to leave. He needs to leave. He is a weirdo. He's a weird Chad. Okay? He needs to leave. I don't care how many, abs you have. Abs do not correlate to not being weird or to not being a Chad. They don't. Okay, he's a Chad. He needs to leave. We're just establishing that. They took out the OMG girls except for a couple of scenes. And in those scenes, I think the overtopness of the movie and the element of the OMG girls and how they are so over the top in their OMG-ness, it was well done. It was done in a way where it felt like it was embracing this kind of genre of over-the-topness that it didn't feel out of place like it did in the last movie. And that leads me to my next point. They made the over-topness a gimmick and not a crutch. In the first movie, it was like a crutch for every scene, every character, every plot point was just over the top, whatever it was. Not plot point, but you know what I mean. Everything in the first movie was done in this really over top way where it felt like a crutch. It felt like it was relying on this over the top words, over the top, feeling over the top, actions over top. In the first, I'm having a hard time. In the first movie, they rely on being over the top as a crutch, and in the second one, it feels like they made it more of the gimmick of the movie, which is a good play because you can get away with being over the top because it's kind of just part of this movie. It's part of the, not cinematography, it's just part of the package of this movie. Alright? And one thing I'm really happy about is that the power of the list, the friendship rule list that Elle and Lee have that's super stupid was diminished in this movie, whereas in the first movie it was like this big thing, and in the second one it was like brought up like a couple of times as more as like a nod to the first movie instead of like being this huge presence in the second. And I'm glad they did that because no one cares. No one cares about the friendship list. I don't care. If you have a list of rules for your friendship, I think that says something about your friendship that you need a list of rules. Because that's just kind of weird. If I told my group of friends, like, we need to have a list of rules for our friendship. Because that's what they are. That's what this list is. It's rules on how to be supposedly the good friend, which I disagree with a ton of the rules on this list because they're stupid. You don't need to go to the same college as your bestie in order to be a good friend. That's not, I don't get it. I get that specific to Elle and Lee, but at the same time, that rule applies across the board no matter who you are. You don't need to go wherever your friends go because first of all, there's no guarantee that'll happen. That's not up to you. That's up to the colleges. And they don't give a crap if you're friends or not. So, I digress. Part 2, the predictableness. So, this plot has been copy and pasted by P.S. I Still Love You, aka To All the Boys I Loved Before, to the sequel, whatever. I actually read the book for that, and I can tell you right now that, and I watched the movie, I can just say that The Kissing Booth 2 is the same as To All the Boys I Loved Before 2. Okay? They're the same. Main character is with this dude, a new dude comes out of nowhere, and there's a triangle dynamic going on, and main character chooses the original dude over the new dude because love or something like that. And that was basically this plot for this movie, right? And, into P.S. I Still Love You, which is To All the Boys I Loved Before 2. For me, it made more sense because it when you read the books, it feels, at least when I read the books, it makes sense, and you know how it's going to end. That's the problem with these copy and paste plots, is that even if you were watching P.S. I Still Love You and you didn't read the books, you'd know that Laura Jean is going to pick Peter. It doesn't matter who the new guy is or how much better they are than your current boyfriend or girlfriend. It doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter because love, I don't know. And we just gotta get this out of the way. Marco is better than Noah, okay? Hear me out, okay? I have notes. The reason why Elle and Marco are just a better couple in every aspect is because Marco and Elle, like, words. Marco actually has personality. And in this movie, we see him just constantly, go to these rehearsals. Most of the movie is him going to these rehearsals for this competition that Elle's going to be in to get some money for college because she wants to go Harvard for Noah and love. And Marco comes up and he shows up for Elle time and time again. He comes to these rehearsals that are hours and hours long out of his day to help her win a competition. That's insane. That's so nice. I get that there's prize money, and I think they split it. It would be weird if Elle kept all the money, because it was 50 grand, so supposedly he got 25 grand, but he wasn't going to do this, he wasn't going to go out of his way to do this before, so he's doing this for Elle. right? And he's showing up for her, and he's consistently coming to help her, because this is a consistent effort that took hours and hours. Did Noah do that? No. No, he didn't. So we have proof that Marco likes Elle. It's not just, oh, there's a mutual attraction. There's a spark there. And even Elle admits this when they kiss at the dance competition or whatever. Marco actually did stuff she wanted to do instead of just being a violent Harvard student who has a personality the depth of a kiddie pool. We all know who I'm talking about. Noah, the Chad, okay? He has the depth, the character depth of a kiddie pool, okay? Can you tell me anything about Noah besides, like, that he's hot and that he he goes to Harvard? Like, can you tell me anything else besides, like, facts, like he's the brother of Lee? Can you tell me any personality traits of Noah? I don't think so. He's just violent. Okay, I guess that's a personality trait, but it's not really a great one. So we're gonna move on. The whole movie is Elle and Noah, like, saying I love you with, like, no real basis for this attraction. It's just a mutual attraction to each other. There's not really a reason. Sometimes life is like that, I get that, but at the same time, when you're, like, having I don't want to say comparison, because Noah and Marco are people, but when you're, like, choosing between two people to date, you're gonna consider, like, the basis of a relationship. And the basis of the relationship with Marco would be that he showed up consistently to help you win a competition, to seriously help you with a supposed dream of yours. And we have Noah. What did he do? I don't remember that much in the first movie, but nothing stands out to me of him really doing anything except, like, what? I think he punched someone in the face. He threatened people. I know he did that. I know he threatened people. I don't know if he punched someone. I think he did. But whatever. Noah being violent versus Marco consistently showing up to help Elle with her dream. Which one's the better basis? You know what I mean? So, And Chloe and Noah, they make more sense anyway. I feel like Chloe, she's better with the group of guys. Like, I feel like that's what Noah's looking for. He's looking for a girl who can kind of relate to him on, like, a guy level. Maybe he just wants to take care of someone, but it doesn't seem like it, because Noah needs someone who's going to be like, hey, don't beat up someone. Don't beat up people. That's not okay. And Elle doesn't really do a very good job of doing that. She kind of just throws herself in front of the other person, who's like, don't punch them. But Chloe is able to use words, and Noah backs off. So if Chloe's able to not even physically get in the way of Noah's violent behavior to prevent him from being violent, I think that says a lot about how Chloe and Noah do have chemistry. And Noah still has this thing with Elle for some reason I still don't understand. I think he should dump Elle for Chloe, because first of all, Chloe's right there. He never has to wait for a plane or hours and hours to see his girlfriend. Second of all, she seems to just kind of understand him better. She seems to fit in with his guy group already. Like, I don't know. I feel like the banter between them is more organic, and I don't know if that's just a factor of their friendship or a factor of some sort of chemistry between them. But I'll move on. I think the lesson that could have been done here if it hadn't been predictable and Elle ended up with Marco. I think the lesson would have been that people drift apart, that sometimes, life happens and you don't, dreams change, something like that, that a baseless mutual attraction to someone else doesn't always have to end in marriage, or at least the end credits. This leads me to part 3, the major plot hole, the contest. So, first of all, let's just talk about the actual dance. The dance that Marco and Elle put together was really good. It was good. And Elle kissing Marco, I think, shows that the root problem of the relationship hasn't been solved. At least until that point. And even after, the root problem of Elle and Noah's, relationship doesn't really get solved. Okay, I think we're gonna get a third movie. However, I think that Elle kissing Marco shows that the miscommunication, which I'll get into later, the miscommunication between both of them is more than just miscommunication. It's more than just miscommunication. It's like this imbalance of energy. Like Noah's violent Chad energy and Elle's kind of sweet, innocent girl energy. I guess they should balance each other out as they do in every other teen movie where they're opposites, but in this case they don't really attract because Noah isn't like the bad guy. He's not the rebel. He's not any of this. He's just kind of violent. And somehow he and Elle work because he's hot. I don't really understand. So when Elle kisses Marco, I think that's such a big deal because as we know of now, Noah and Chloe didn't kiss, they didn't do any of that. So Elle went over the line more, even though it seems like she wanted the relationship to work more than Noah did. Am I wrong? And she kissed Marco. So, and I get that she thought that Noah was cheating on her. I get that. I just don't care because I think it shows that there's a lack of trust. And I think that that's the backbone of a ton of relationships is trust. You have to trust your partner. If you don't trust them, then I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to say. It's not good. And I think Elle and Noah are in this weird zone where they don't really trust each other, but there is a deep connection there. It's just that there's no real intense trusted base that they can fall back on when they have doubts in their mind about what the other person is doing. And Elle's kiss with Marco, I think, just highlights that. And yeah, I'm gonna move on. I also liked with the contest thing, how the discussion of college was brought up and whether or not the family could afford it. And this is the reason she enters the contest in the first place. So we have motivation besides I want money. This is a real life scenario, in my opinion, where, there's a contest that they could possibly win for a lot of money, and she enters it so she can get money for Harvard or whatever. And this leads me to what I called part 3, which is how this is a plot hole. The contest is a plot hole in itself, okay? First of all, In the movie, I'm setting up for my point. In the movie, Elle looks up how much does it cost to like live at Harvard or something, or to go to Harvard, or to what's the cost of tuition, whatever. She looks up the cost of Harvard because she wants to go there because Noah's there, which is a stupid reason. And because like what would she study? What's your motivation besides, oh, my boyfriend goes? That's so stupid. That's so stupid. Anyway, I'm getting off track. So she looks it up on her computer, and then she's like, oh, that's a lot of money. As it is a lot of money. Harvard is for rich people or people who worked their ass off to get tons of scholarships or something, or they got there on athletic ability or something like that. So she does this, and it's this whole scene in the movie, right, where she looks it up. And guess what I did? I looked it up. I looked up how much it cost to the tuition of Harvard, and it was about $72,000 when I looked it up. And we just said that the contest money is $50,000. We just said that the contest money is $50,000. That's not even 1 year. If she kept all the money, if Marco was nice enough, which he is, to give her all of the contest money, correct? Right? And she gets $50,000. That doesn't even cover 1 year at Harvard, okay? And she's going to be there presumably for 4 years for a degree of some sort, right? And 72 times 4 is not, it's more than 50. It's more than I think her family can afford. Therefore, her winning the contest wouldn't help her out with Harvard at all. It would help, but it wouldn't be like a determining factor in whether she would go or not, because at the end of the day, $50,000 isn't even a year. It's not even a year. And it's so ironic to me how that's a major plot hole. And they have that scene where she looks it up, and I did it in real life and proved the movie wrong with a scene that's in the movie. Do you see how ironic that is? And it's just like, I get that the family's helping her out with college, as a lot of families do that. They help their kids out with paying for it because it's a ton of money. Some people take out loans. Sometimes there's a combination of both. Whatever is good for you. Some people just work and work and work, and that they pay it off. Then whatever your deal is, I don't think that this $50,000, even though that's a ton of money, I don't think it would have been a determining factor in her going to Harvard at all. And I'm just putting that out there, that this is a major plot hole. It's not $500,000. Okay, because that would be like a little bit of a life-changing amount of money. Because not only would she have enough money to go to Harvard, she'd have enough money for other stuff. And to me, if it was $500,000, it wouldn't make sense, because why would an arcade dance company offer $500,000? $50,000, that's about right. That's about right for a contest to promote your product. That's about right. Maybe they could have even done 10 if they were cheap about it or something. Anyway, this is a huge plot hole, and the whole film is based on this underlying issue of the dance contest. Like, a ton of stuff revolves around it. Her relationship with Marco revolves around it. Her relationship with Noah kind of has a lot to do with it, because she's in the contest so she can put that money towards Harvard so she can go to school with him, which is a stupid reason, because I don't understand why you wouldn't just put that money towards going to a UC. Because if Marco gave her all of the money, or even if they split it and she got $25,000, that money would be super helpful towards going to a UC, and it would probably cover the first year at a UC. So I don't understand, and that would help her family out tremendously. I think asking your family to help you go to Harvard for your boyfriend, not because you like the school or because you, I don't know, you really like their program for something, or it's like been a dream of yours since you were in first grade or kindergarten or something, that would be different. But asking your family to help you pay to go Harvard so you can just be closer to your boyfriend is incredibly selfish to me. And she didn't tell her parents, hey, I want to go Harvard because my boyfriend's going. I get that she I get that she wants to go to college, for whatever job she wants, which we don't even know what job she wants. But do you see, this doesn't really, it's not a flushed out concept, because anyone can Google tuition at Harvard like they do in the movie. They literally expose themselves in the movie. I just can't get over that. Anyone can look that up and obviously see that 50 grand, it makes a little bit of a dent, but in the large scheme of 4 years, it doesn't do anything. Not to mention that this hinders on the fact that you and Noah are in a relationship, which isn't a good plan because you don't know. I get that you're in love, but you have to be in the mind space that anything can happen, and relying on someone else to determine your own life direction is always a bad idea. It's always a bad idea. So I can keep going on that, but I'm just gonna move on. So part 4, miscommunication. A large part of this movie also relies on the fact that people are just not saying their truth. They're not saying the facts. They're not keeping it 100, okay? Lee getting mad that Elle applied to Harvard and didn't tell him, I thought that was stupid. Listen, Lee can just, I don't know. I kind of like Lee, but he can be kind of annoying in terms of his really intense, not stubbornness, but just not, like, he shuts down. Noah and Lee, they're brothers, and they both have this common thing where they shut down when there's something serious going on, or someone lied to them about something or whatever. They just shut down. And that's not okay. That's not okay. And getting mad at your friend for applying somewhere that you're not going to me is just stupid. I just would never go up to my friend and be like, hey, we need to go to the same school or else you're not a true friend. That just doesn't make any sense. They should not have to conform to wherever I want to go. For what? Why? Just so I can hang out with them more? Like, that doesn't make sense, because there's the factor that after college, you're going to get hired somewhere, and you don't really know where you're going to live after that. So really, you're just postponing what's going to happen in 4 years, where you move to a different area. And you're not going to have, like, this next door, same town closeness that you used to have. So you're really just digging a hole of denial? Ever thought about that? So Lee's girlfriend getting super heated at Elle for Lee being a wuss was also stupid. I didn't like that. However, even though I didn't like that, it's because I didn't like Lee's girlfriend as a character. And I think that Lee's girlfriend, she has some good points. They just don't come across the right way sometimes. But to me, that has nothing to do with that. To me, that's not bad writing. To me, that's not anything. It's just something I didn't like I just didn't like Lee's girlfriend. That's my commentary on that. I don't think it should have been changed. However, because there are girlfriends just like Lee who get really annoyed when their dude's best friend is also a girl and they're hanging out with them and they just want that alone time. They want that alone time, and Elle is just cock blocking. She's just there, you know, like, and you're the girlfriend, just like, hey, I kind of want to get it on with my mans, and you're kind of cramping my style. So to me, I wouldn't change the fact that she's in there. I'm just saying that I didn't like her, and that's whatever. But I wouldn't change it, if that makes sense. Now we have to talk about the miscommunication plot with Noah and Elle, which is a huge plot point because, you know, Elle and Noah, they're a little rocky because, you know, Elle thinks that Noah's cheating on her with Chloe, and they don't really have a good discussion about it, and it kind of just blows up on in the Thanksgiving scene. And I get that this is a real life issue, that miscommunication is a really big thing in relationships. It's just so frustrating to watch Noah be so dumb when it comes to this, because even though he got into Harvard, he still doesn't seem to understand how it looks to see your boyfriend hang out with a girl who's more attractive than you, or at least you feel is more attractive than you, and you're thousands of miles away, or you're a plane ride away, you're hours away from them, you're miles and miles away from them, and you're hanging out with a girl who, at least in your mindset, because I don't want to compare attractiveness, but who you feel is more attractive than you, who has a British accent, so she sounds smarter than you, and is right next to you, and is right there. And you don't have to wait a plane ride to go see them. So I think that, you know, Elle is justified in her jealousy, in her worriness, but she doesn't confront Noah about it. And Noah's kind of like dumb. And then he brings he brings Chloe over with him to Thanksgiving. Not any of his guy friends, just Chloe. So Chloe and Elle can be friends, which doesn't, I don't like that. Why? If I'm the girlfriend of someone and I'm like kind of suspicious that there's something going on, I don't really want to be friends with that person, even though Chloe is a really nice person. It doesn't matter. To me, you're my competition. I don't want to be friends with you. I want to know you, you know. I kind of get it, but at the same time, it's just really weird, because if you came with a girl all this way by yourself to meet me, that's just weird. I don't even know how to feel about that. If my boyfriend did that, I'd be a little like, this is awkward. I don't know how to feel right now. Yeah. Part 5. Now we're going to get into the weird, random, nitpicky stuff, etc., etc. I'm getting towards the end of my video. First of all, the gay couple that was in this movie was like a side plot, a B plot, or whatever it's called, and it was just kind of, it was thrown in there. It was just kind of there. Do I think this could have worked? Yes and no. First of all, if you're going to have a gay couple in a movie where they're not the protagonist, or they're not even a close friend of the main character, they're kind of just there in the background, it's gonna come off as if you're just trying to get woke points for your movie, because you can take the couple out and the movie's still the same. Everything is still the same, it's just less runtime. So, to me, it felt like an attempt to get woke points, which we don't stand, because LGBTQIA+ deserves better, okay? To me, if you want to get actual woke points because your movie is reflecting the values that you want to instill in teenagers, that love is love and it doesn't matter what your gender is, if that's what you want to put out there, then you should have this couple in the montage of the kissing booth thing, where they're at the carnival or the school fair or whatever, and people are in line coming up, and they did that with the girls, or a girl couple, but they didn't do it with they did do it with the gay couple, but to me, it needs to be more of a background thing where it's so normal that it's in the montage scene, but it's not like a specific thing that's like put a huge spotlight on for seemingly no reason other than to get woke points. Because if you want to normalize being gay, if you want to normalize being lesbian, if you want to normalize being bisexual, pansexual, all of those things, then it needs to be seen as normal. And I don't think that this side plot would have happened with a straight couple. I think it was very purposefully a gay couple so the movie could get woke points. Do you see what I mean? LGBTQIA+ deserves better. We deserve better. Okay? Okay? We are not there to be your tokens to make you seem more woke of a movie. We are here, we are proud, and we are normal. It is normal to be gay. It is normal to be bisexual. It is normal to be lesbian. It's all normal. It's normal to be pansexual. It's all normal. So, and it's not very woke of you to tokenize us and to just put us in a B plot that is just thrown in there clumsily for woke points. And I can go on and on about that, but it felt like a tokenization of people who are gay, and I don't like that. I do not like that at all. Now, when Marco tells Elle to pick a game to play, or else she'll have to like babysit his sister if she loses, when like that scene in the beginning of the movie, I think that Elle should have lost. I think that Marco should have won and Elle should have lost. But no, we can't have a main character losing. What? We have to have Elle win at everything. No, Marco should have won, and I think that Elle should have had to babysit his sister, and that would have been such a more compelling plot if the whole plot was based around suspicion of Noah thinking Elle's cheating on him with Marco, and Elle being suspicious that Noah is cheating on her with Chloe, because if she lost the game and had to babysit Marco's sister, she would have had to go to his house. And there are just tons of things that you can do with that setting, okay? And I'm just gonna put that out there. Okay? And last but not least, the scene when the paper that Flynn is holding at the airport, you know, and it says like Elle, or I forget what it says, probably says something romantic and teen romance-ish, and he throws it and it hits the guy in the head.
I'm not worried about a damn thing.
I thought that was interesting. They should have reshot it. I don't understand why they didn't. My friend showed me that clip before I watched the movie, and it's what made me realize that the Kissing Booth 2 was even out. And I saw that clip, and I was like, that poor dude. He, like, you can tell that, like, he got hit by it, but he knew that they were shooting the scene, and he couldn't turn around, so he kind of, you know, jerks his head, like, a little, like, not jerks, he, like, tilts it a little bit, and he's like, alright, I can't turn around, even though a normal person, not an extra, would turn around and be like, why did a paper just hit me in the backpack? In the head? Yeah. I thought that was kind of weird and that they didn't reshoot it. Like, is this movie so low budget that you couldn't reshoot one scene? And it's a simple scene. It's not that hard. I mean, this movie is mostly montages that just... they freak me out. The amount of montages in this movie, it was so rambunctious because it was so choppy. It was like, it would just go from like one scene to, it was so all over where it made my eyes hurt just looking at it sometimes because there's a ton of montages and they just cut abruptly all the time. So yeah, those are my thoughts on the kissing booth. I hope you liked this video. And that's all I got to say. I don't really have that much else. I feel like that was a lot. This was a really organized review. Look at that with me with my notes. I remember the reason I take notes now is because of my earlier videos on this channel. I didn't really take notes. Sometimes I would, sometimes I wouldn't, and that still holds up today. Sometimes I take notes and sometimes I don't, but I take notes more seriously because in the comments I was told, like, you know, it probably would help if you did notes, and it does. It does a lot, so shout out to you. And yeah, it just helps me compose my thoughts in a thoughtful way. Anyway, I will talk to all of you later. I hope you enjoyed. Please subscribe. Follow me on other platforms if you feel like it. If you don't, I'm just glad that you watched my video. And yeah. Alright, Marco deserves better. Bye!